Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of my video blog series. I'm your host Nick Renard and today I am going to be talking about keyword expansion. I'm going to be talking about a tool that we use from time to time called SpyFu. There's a lot of other programs like this, but it's we get the question a lot from clients about what our competitors are doing with certain keywords, and this is a tool that we use that we can look up what our competitors are doing and get some insights of from their campaigns to see how we can apply those to our campaigns. And I currently have a picture of my dogs here, but we'll bring up an actual browser here, and we'll go to spyfu.com. And again, this is a tool that we've been using. There are other tools like this that are quite nice. I'm going to be going through a few examples today of how I use this program. I will say that I already talked a little bit about the pros of this program, but some of the cons of this program is I think that there's a lot of information that's not very useful. I'll go over that as we kind of go through this, but it regurgitates a lot of information at you when you start using a program like this. So it's important to be able to filter through and know what kinds of things are actually, actionable, or what can we actually use out of this, and being able to pull, what's useful. So I'll start here. If we go, this is just the home screen here. I'm going to go through 3 examples of just some big name companies. The first one is Nike. So if we type in Nike.com, and you can think about it like, let's say you're Reebok and you want to know what Nike is doing with their pay-per-click campaigns. This is what you would be doing, and this is what I tell clients: is I tell them to give me a list of I don't know, maybe like anywhere from like 5 to 15 of their competitors, and I'll do this for all of their competitors and look up the keywords that their competitors are bidding on and kind of get an idea of what more we could be doing, what it's going to cost, stuff like that. So let's say we're looking up Nike here. This is the first screen that comes up. You can use this for SEO and organic related keywords and whatnot. We're not going to be talking about SEO today. We're just going to be staying focused on PPC, but yes, if you're curious, yes, these programs can be used for that as well. The process is going to be very similar. So what I use this for is when we come here, the first thing that we can see is the estimated monthly AdWords budget. What this does is it takes the amount of estimated clicks that this campaign got, and then it multiplies it by the average cost per click of those keywords, and it gives you an average estimated budget of what Nike is spending per month on AdWords. I personally think that this number is highly inflated. It says that Nike's spending $60K a month, and some of the competitors that I look up sometimes, these are like, it's not always big names like Nike. Sometimes I'll be looking up a really small time client, and it'll say that it's estimating that they spent like $25K a month on advertising. There's just no way that many small time people are consistently spending that much. So take this with a grain of salt. What I use this number for is as I go through looking through all the competitors, I look at them comparatively with each other to kind of get an idea of which competitors are spending more. So if they're estimated that Nike is spending 59.2K here, and then we look up another shoe competitor like Adidas and it says they're spending 40K, I worry less about how big those numbers are and more about how big they are with respect to each other. If that makes sense. That way you can kind of get an idea of who the top dogs are and whatnot. Anyways, so we click on this button here, the paid keywords. It'll take us to the keywords, but before we do that, there's a bunch of statistics on the side. This is where it starts to get a little bit cute. I generally just jump right into the keywords, but I'll show you guys this stuff because we did talk. I was mentioning the cons of this program. If we click on any given one of these, for example, here's the competitors section. It'll show you what the top competitors are, which is, if you're looking for more competitors, it can be useful just to get a list of who else is kind of bidding on this stuff. Foot Locker, Kids Foot Locker, Swell, New Balance, Zappos. So all these other people that are bidding on similar keywords to what Nike is. This I don't think that this is. I actually like the competitor one out of all these slides because I don't like all the slides, but this is one of the ones that I do like because one of the things that clients struggle to give me is a list, a good list of all their competitors, and if you don't really know who you're competing against, and this can be a good resource. What you can do is you can come into here, you can look at the monthly budgets and sort by the largest budgets, and just look into like the top 10 spenders and see, kind of what their AdWords strategy is, maybe get some ideas for keywords, and we'll go into the keyword expansion here in a second. So yeah, I do like the competitors section just for finding names of competitors. Um, as we go down, there's like, for example, here's what they call combat with a K, like Mortal Kombat. They have this thing that shows how much your keywords are overlapping with other competitors, and you can set it up however you want. If you're curious how your rank is weighed against a certain competitor, then you can, I guess, like combat those. I don't know what the verb for that is, but um, it'll give you a cute little graph like this. I don't think this is actually all that useful because I mean, I'm curious what their keyword lists are, but in terms of like making sure that I'm bidding on all of their keywords, like I don't actually care if I'm bidding on all their keywords. What I want to make sure that I'm doing is compiling a list of all the possible keywords that I could be using, organize them into campaigns and ad groups and write ads for them, and do that whole process. But the problem is that a keyword that is successful for Nike may not be successful for Reebok. Now that could be for any number of reasons. It could be that Nike's website is better or worse, or it could be that quality scores are different. It could be that bids are different. There's all kinds of things that could get in the way of a difference in performance like that. So I think that this is more just kind of cute to look at. I don't think it's very useful, but some people like this. I don't know. Moving on here, it'll show you top keywords. This is useful, although we're going to be looking at the full keyword list in a second here, so this will be a little redundant. The rest of these things, I don't actually know how accurate this information is. I've tried using it before, and I don't think that there's a lot of high impact information that you can pull from these like super granular AdWords reports where it's showing you like exactly where these ads placed, and like what the percentage top of page, like some of these stats I think are just too granular. I think you should focus more on the kind of message that you want to convey to your clients, and focus on what works for your company and what the message that you're trying to get out there and advertise. And instead of trying to figure out what worked for Nike, try to figure out what works for you. And the only way that you can do that is by testing. So when you create a list of keywords and you create ads, test those ads, test those keywords. Don't worry about your competitors, and see if it works for you. Like I said, there's going to be a keyword like, women's Nike shorts that may be insanely successful for Amazon but not successful for Zappos. And it's not like the keyword changed at all because it didn't, same keyword, but quality scores or whatever variable, you just have to test it to find out. That's really the end of the story there. Anyways, moving on. There's some other, this goes into organic, so we'll skip this. And the backlinks, again, organic related. So yeah, if you are going into, we're not going over organics today, but if you are an SEO person, then yeah, you can use that. Anyways, so we can do that for any given person. Next example I have here, we'll go through these next two a lot quicker. I just wanted to explain all that. Here's equestrian.com. You can see that their AdWords budget is estimated to be much lower. Shows their keywords, and we're going to click on this keyword thing because this is what's going to be most useful out of this report. Same kind of stuff with the top competitors, the combat, and then just kind of the squirrely stuff after that, the vanity metrics. And then one more, bestbuy.com. You can see their estimated monthly AdWords budget of $400K. I'd be surprised if they're spending $400,000 a month on AdWords, but you never know. And yeah, so let's go back to Nike.com, and I'm actually going to dig into the the actual keyword list. And this what I'm about to show you now is what I actually use this program for. So click on these keywords, and here we go. What this does, it pulls all of the lists where someone has typed in one of these keywords and Nike's ad has showed up as a paid ad, and it shows you how often it gets searched, so you can know how well you can know how often it's searched because it shows you the daily searches. The thing that I like to use the most is the cost per click. A lot of the times, and this happens especially when I'm building out new campaigns for clients that maybe I haven't advertised in their industry before. Um, Whenever you're dealing with a new industry, you never know what the cost per click is going to be. So something like men's shorts, for example, I wouldn't know if the average cost per click on that keyword on AdWords is going to be like $1.84 or if it's going to be like $14. I have no idea. I'll give you a good example. Any keyword containing like cloud or cloud software or cloud anything, insanely expensive. It's really hard to bid on a keyword that has the word cloud in it uh, and have it cost less than like $20 a click. It's expensive. Same thing with lawyers. Lawyers are very expensive. Anything with the word lawyer or attorney, it's going to be hard to find anything below like $15, just because lawyers are really expensive. I have had some lawyer clients in the past who would pay upwards of $60 for a click, because if that leads to a phone call, that can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to them. So, but in this case, we're talking about e-commerce, so it makes sense that someone looking up men's shorts, that the cost per click would be a lot cheaper, because there's no way that it could be profitable if that was $60 for a click. uh, Anyways, the reason that I use this is what I'll do is I'll take the competitor thing that we were looking at beforehand, and I'll look up these keyword reports for all of the competitors, and I'll scan through these, and I'll pull keywords that maybe I don't have. Maybe I didn't think about doing like men's and women's and kids, so it's like, oh well, I could create an ad group for men's, and what I'll do is I'll literally open up a notepad file like this. And as I scan through here, I'll be like, men's, women's, kids, maybe like going down like running, jogging, yoga is another good one there. Maybe like bras is something that maybe we have a section for bras, so bidding on that keyword. What we're doing is we're compiling all the keywords that we could be potentially using. And then what we do, and so let's take another person kind of in the same category, Adidas. And maybe like here, like hoodies. Let me scroll down a little bit. Maybe like hoodies or sneakers. Maybe that's maybe we were bidding on shoes, but we didn't have. There we go. Didn't have sneakers. Or workout. Maybe that's a keyword that we weren't using. We could add like boys to here, boys, girls. So you can see what we're doing with this, and then we would take you just rinse repeat on this. So we would do this for like 10 competitors, and eventually we would have this list of all these keywords that we can kind of pair together and create a list out of. From here, what I do, and here we go. There's a lot of they call these keyword list generators. Sometimes it's like keyword pairing tool. There's all kinds of names for them, but there's a lot of these. This is the one that I use. What you can do with this is you can take these lists of keywords. So like running, jogging. We'll just use these ones, and then let's take like shoes, hoodies, sneakers, bra. Let's just use those ones for now as an example. You take these keywords, put one there, take the other keywords, put them here, and what this will do is it will automatically pair these keywords together for you. You can choose the match types. I generally stay away from broad match, and I only do broad match modifiers, phrase match, and exact match. And you click generate, Again, if you're using a different tool, that's fine. This is just one that I do. And what it does, it pairs all these keywords together for you and gives you every combination possible. Now what we can do is we can copy this list. And you can see here, here's the full list. We can upload that list into AdWords, and then we can start organizing it into groups. You know, we could have like a men's shoes ad group, or maybe even like a men's campaign, and put all of the men's stuff in there, and then have like a shoes ad group, and a hoodies ad group, and a sneakers ad group. And then same thing for women's campaign, men's bra. Who knows? Might be a marketable thing. Men's workout bras. I like that. And then like boys, girls, running, jogging, whatever. So you can see like this is a very efficient way of creating this list of keywords, because rather than trying to think like, okay, what kind of keywords do we want to bid on? Okay, well, we're an apparel site and we sell running shoes, so let's bid on running shoes. And let's bid on, jogging shoes. Yeah, that would work. It's going to take you forever to come up with a list like this, especially since this was only 2 competitors, and normally I go through like 10 to 15 of these. So much more efficient way of doing keyword expansion. You can scan through these lists on SpyFu or whatever tool that you're using, and you can go through here and be like, oh, we don't have hoodies as a keyword. Oh, we don't have boys. We like maybe we have men's and women's, but we didn't have boys and girls. Like we should add that. Sporting goods, genius. Let's add that. Long sleeve. We do have long sleeve, but we're not advertising on it. And so, again, come up with a list, upload it to a campaign, test it, see if it works for you. Don't worry about your competitors. If it doesn't work, then you know you can lower bids or pause it or whatever you want to do from there. And if it does work, then you can emphasize the traffic and bid more aggressively for it. But anyways, that's really all I wanted to talk about today. Is an extra. I think that keywords in terms of developing a successful SEM campaign, yes, management is a lot of it. Like being able to properly manage bids on things is extremely important. But these keyword lists are the foundations of those campaigns, and if we don't have fully fleshed out campaigns with all the possible combinations of keywords that we can find, then we don't know if we've, tested everything possible. Because when we test a huge batch of keywords like this, a lot of them aren't going to work. A lot of them aren't going to do anything, but some of them will work. We want to make sure that we're bidding aggressively on those, and we want to make sure that we reallocate funds from the underperformers to the ones that are doing well. So yeah, that's all I have for today. I hope that this is useful, and I will see you guys next week in my next video blog. Happy advertising!